All right. Good morning, boys and girls. We're on to chapter 63 in front desk. Let's see. All right. Where we left off last. Um, let's see here. They were considering borrowing money from their family out in China. And let's see how that goes. Chapter 63. My mother was unconsolable that night. She couldn't believe that her sister would rather buy a fancy penthouse in Beijing than help her own sibling. As she buried her head into her pillow, my father tried his best to comfort her. I can't believe she said no, my mom said to my dad. I couldn't either. Never in a million years did I think my aunt would say no, not after my mom told her what we were going through. I guess a lot has changed since we left. Not just the neighborhood, but the people too. They were probably splitting the bill now. It's okay, my dad said. We tried. You heard what Hank said. It's no skin off our back. It is, my mom cried. It's the skin and the hair and everything. I bit my lip as I listened from my bed. Now we'll just be employees for the rest of our lives, working for one bastard after another. Not everyone can lead, Ying, my dad said. Some people are just destined to be followers. As my father started going on about our fate again, I threw my head back down onto the pillow. I didn't believe we were destined to be followers. I didn't believe we were just supposed to stay on this roller coaster forever. Thought about all the people I'd met this year and how we all deserved better. Lupe, Hank, and the other weeklies, and all the immigrants. So many people from so many different parts of the world. If only there was a way we could join together and break free. Wait a minute. What if we didn't need one rich relative? What if we needed, instead, was a lot of poor people? My mom said it herself. Everybody could each put in a little. Lupe came straight over the next day and squealed when I told her my plan. Of course. Why didn't we think of that earlier? Mr. Yao desperately wanted to sell the motel. We could probably get it for cheap. She grabbed my hand and ran out to the back to find Hank. It was a Saturday, and Hank was outside his room watering his tomato plant. How much do you think Mr. Yao wants for the motel? We asked him. Hank stopped watering and drew a sharp breath. At least $300,000, I'd say. Why? Did you guys find another rich relative? No, we were all out of those, but we knew a lot of people, sure. They were all poor. But if everybody put in a little, and wouldn't it be like be a donation? It wouldn't be a donation, it would be an investment. We'd own the motel together, I told Hank. I pulled out my notebook and showed him and Lupe my calculations. Their eyes boggled when they saw the math. This place makes $12,000 a month, Lupe asked. Holy, that's serious money, Hank exclaimed. $144,000 a year is serious, to be exact. Hank slapped his leg. That's it, I'm in, he declared. He emptied every pocket of his jacket. He dug his fingers into the backs of his chairs and checked under his bed for money, and even in his shoes. He managed to find $78.56, which wasn't a lot, but it was something. The other weeklies, as soon as they heard, wanted to contribute too. Fred put in 100, Billy Bob 200, Mrs. T 250, but it was Mrs. Q who put out the most, a whopping $3,000. Hank whistled. You got $3,000 laying around and you're leaving it in this dump, he asked her. Why don't you get an apartment? This isn't a dump, Mrs. Q said. This is home, and besides, I lived in an apartment. I'd never meet all you people. She gave me my shoulder a squeeze. Lupe skipped on home to talk to her parents. She said they had some sort of emergency fund, but she wasn't sure how much was in there. As for me, I dug out my essay from the contest. I made copies of the essay and passed it to every single customer who came in. My plan was simple: find 600 people to contribute $500 each. We could That could bring us the grand total to $300,000. So far, we got $3,628 from the weeklies. We still had $296,371 to go. Few customers threw my story in the trash, but a surprising number did not. They responded with genuine interest and curiosity. A few were moved by what I told them about our situation and the kind of year we were having, and how we got through it by pulling together as a family. They opened up their checkbooks and wrote checks for 700,000, 4,000, 5,000, and even 8,000. One customer wanted to know my vision for the Calavista. His name was Mr. Cooper, and he was a venture capitalist from Los Angeles, passing through on his way down to San Diego. A venture capitalist, Mr. Cooper said, was someone who invested in small companies before they became big companies. Though he could afford to stay anywhere, Mr. Cooper still liked living frugally, and that's why he was at the Calavista. Where do you see the Calavista in 5 years? Mr. Cooper asked me. Right here, I said, a little confused by his question. He laughed. No, I mean, what kind of changes do you expect from the Calavista? I thought about it. I just want everyone to be happy, every single customer. Mr. Cooper smiled. That's the kind of vision I'd like to hear. I'd be honored to invest. Mr. Cooper took out his checkbook and wrote us a check for a jaw-dropping $50,000. As he handed us the enormous check, my mother's hand shook. She'd never seen so many zeros all in one place. I'm expecting big things from this place, Mr. Cooper beamed. Big things. Well, with Mr. Cooper's check and the other customers' contributions, we still needed $230. So the next day I went around to all the shops on our street. To my wild surprise, both Mr. Abian from the convenience store and Mr. Bagwati from the dry cleaners wanted to invest. Are you sure? I asked them. Are you kidding? This is our chance to own a piece of land in America, they said. They were tired of sending all their money back to relatives month after month. For once, they were going to invest to spend on themselves. They gave me $1,000 each, cash. I ran all the way home, clutching the thick stack of hundreds in my hands. Lupe came over with even more thrilling news. Her parents talked it over and they want to invest $10,000, the entirety of their emergency fund. But it's your emergency fund, I said. Are you sure about this? Lupe nodded. We've never been more sure about anything in our life. As her dad added his chunk to the huge pile of money, Lupe and I grabbed each other's arms and jumped up and down, screaming, We're getting off the roller coaster! We're getting off the roller coaster. By the end of the week, we were 85,000 down, 215,000 to go. I took out the big ledger and started writing to old customers. I wrote to Mr. Lewis, the guy who gave me a hard time about the key and wanted all those extra pillows. To my surprise, he wrote back and sent me a check for $100, along with a gift certificate to Home Depot for a better key machine. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, the nice couple who gave me the $8 tip, sent $75. They told their friend about it, a guy who made a fortune selling mops on the home shopping channel on TV. And he called us and wanted to invest. My dad then got on the phone and started calling up some of the immigrants who had stayed at our motel. When the immigrants heard, they wanted to get in on the deal too. Aunt Ling, Uncle Lee, Uncle Fung, Uncle Zhu, each invested $100, $125, $150, and $200. Even Uncle Zhang, who had just gotten a new job parking cars at a parking garage, put in $88, which pleased my parents very much because of the number 8. Word got out that there was a killer investment opportunity, and soon immigrants all up and down the state were coming over to invest. If we can't have the American dream ourselves, maybe we can have it together, the immigrants exclaimed. My parents were in awe. They could not get over the fact that so many people, total strangers, could believe in them like that, could look at them and decide, hey, I don't know you, but I believe in you. I believe in your dream. And put crisp green bills into their tired, blistered hands. One stranger after another, flesh and bones, that looked into their eyes and said yes, when time and time again they looked at themselves and said no. 2 weeks later, an even more amazing thing happened. Hank walked into the front office with a stack of bills. He slid the cash across the front desk. It was a thick wad of 20s. You found more money? I asked. No, you found more money, he said. I furrowed my eyebrows at him. I don't understand. I got your money back from the essay people, he announced. You what? I couldn't believe my ears. How? I took a page from your book. I wrote them a letter. I reached over and touched the fresh green bills, my lucky penny money. Never thought I'd see that again. When I explained to them how young you are and how hard you work for that money, they returned it just like that. Henry snapped his fingers. Oh, Hank, thank you, I said. He waved away my thanks like it was nothing, even though what he did meant the world to me. So what are you going to do with it? Hank asked. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it. I'm buying a motel with it. That's my girl, Hank beamed. I wrote the Vermont people to say thank you for returning the money. That's when I had an idea. Dear Vermont Motel essay organizers, thank you so much for returning my entry fee. Can you do me a huge favor? Can you please kindly send the following letter out to all the other people who entered the essay contest but did not win? It would mean a lot to me. Thank you, Mia Tang. Letter attached. Okay, this is the letter right here. Here we go. Dear Sir, Madam, my name is Mia Tang. I'm a 10-year-old girl, and like you, I also entered the Vermont Motel Giveaway Essay Contest. For the past year, I've been helping my mom manage a motel in Anaheim, California. We have made it our home from the towels we carefully fold each day and every day to the customers we call family. But you see, the motel is not ours. It belongs to a man named Mr. Yao, who is unkind and unjust and stubborn as a rock. My parents think that working for Mr. Yao is the only way, but I don't think so. At night, I dreamed of a better way. I dreamed of owning a motel one day that was going to be ours, so I entered the Vermont Motel Giveaway Contest. Sadly, though, I did not win. I always knew losing was a possibility. What are the chances of actually winning a motel? But still, it hurt watching my dreams and hopes and dreams disappear. You probably know the feeling. Well, maybe all of our hopes and dreams don't have to disappear. I'm writing to you because something has happened here at the Cala Vista. Mr. Yao is selling the motel. He's selling it for cheap because he's desperate. We're all chipping in to see if we could buy it from him, and we're looking for investors. If you like the investment, please let me know. It wouldn't be a donation. You would be one of the owners, and in the future, whenever a customer comes to stay at Cala Vista, part of that money would go to you. You might be asking yourself, why should I invest in a motel from a 10-year-old? For 3 reasons. 1, I know what I'm doing. I know every corner of this motel like the back of my hand because I've lived here and worked here for almost a year. Number 2, I love what I'm doing. I'm very proud of my work. Every day I check people at the front desk. The customers like me. See enclosed feedback cards. Because I always go that extra mile for them. And number 3, so I won't let you down. I will work hard every day for my dream and yours. So what do you say? If we can't win a motel together, let's buy one. No investment is too small. Even if all you have are some extra pennies and nickels lying around, we'll take them. You'd be amazed what some of them are worth. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours truly, Mia Tang, manager. A few weeks later, the checks started rolling in. The Vermont essay people sent my letter out, and to my absolutely amazement, from all over the country sent in checks from $50, $100, $2,000, and even $10,000. By the end of the incredible month, and with everyone else's investments, we had reached $300,000. We cashed the checks at the bank and kept all the cash in a giant trash bag, which my parents held in their arms at all times and slept with it in case any robbers came. All right? Leaves it to 64. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to see Mr. Yao's reaction when they look to buy this. So let's see how this goes. All right? Till next time.